My name is Howard Chang, and I'm here to share with you the story that I went through. 1 year ago today, this month, I woke up in West Africa. It was a Sunday morning. I walked across the lobby for breakfast. And then I heard, boom, da 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 da, boom, boom. I thought, why are they having fireworks in the middle of the day? And then the noise continued, boom, boom, boom. And then I realized this is not fireworks. This is gunfire. So I started running. I said, I gotta run. I ran upstairs to the 9th floor, back to my room. I locked the door and I hid behind the curtain. And this is what I saw. Truckloads of special forces coming into the presidential compound. Where I lived, the hotel was across the street from the palace, only 400 meters away. And then soldiers were shooting at each other, attacking the palace. And soldiers were dying left, right, and center in front of my eyes. By this time, the hotel security guards had all run away. I thought to myself, here I am, a foreigner in a hotel room, and nobody was coming to help us. And soldiers came into the lobby and started going around. And I thought, okay, I'm on the 9th floor. I got some time before they're gonna kick open my door and kill me. And then more people died, and I was shaking, and I was scared. And in my panic, I said to myself, the one last thing I wanted to do was to call my family. So I dialed my daughter, and she picked up. It was a video call. I said, sweetie, please take a look outside my window right now. Daddy is in a very dangerous situation, and I want to talk to you for a minute before my phone battery dies. I said, look, I want you to remember that I love you. I want you to know no matter what happens, I want you to be happy and take good care of yourself and take good care of mommy for me. And my phone died. This was the last text message I got from my wife. Fortunately, I'm still here standing today. 13 of us went, but unfortunately, only 12 came back. My name is Howard Chang. I am a leadership coach, a former diplomat, and peace mediator within the United Nations. In the past 20 years, I had the opportunity and the honor to work with leaders in warring countries and political party leaders within countries, as well as corporate departments in conflict within companies, and also warring couples, husbands and wives, within families. I had the opportunity to see all kinds of human conflicts, fighting over something, fighting over nothing, fighting for this reason, that reason, boundaries, ideologies, interests, profits, personal vendettas. But here's what I would like to share with you, what I think is an idea worth sharing. If there's no peace within, there cannot be peace without out here in the world. See, the world is full of a lot of countries. Within each country, there are a lot of people. Just like the ocean you see here, the ocean is made up of all these little droplets of water. And if the people of the country have a lot of negative emotions, like anger, like jealousy, or revenge, or hatred, when they have these emotions, what happens? These attitudes will lead to their collective emotion. And then the collective emotion will lead to a collective negative action. and producing collective negative results. What I'm hoping to share with you today is how to break this vicious cycle, how to reverse the trend from peace to war. Now, I have good news and bad news to tell. The first, I would like to ask you a quick question. If you could please raise your hands. How many of you would like to see peace in the world? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. And then how many of you would like to have peace within for yourself? Peace of mind for yourself. Great, thank you. I see most people raise your hands for both. But here's the good news. The good news is, yes, peace in the world can start with me, with you. And in fact, peace in the world must start with you because we're the smallest droplet in the big ocean. But the question is, yes, we say we want peace, but why do we lose our personal peace of mind so quickly, so often, and so uncontrollably? I assert, here comes the bad news, that is because we are not trained professionally and systematically to transform and shift our mental states quickly, effectively, and powerfully in the face of any and all circumstances. Let me share a quick example of how I had to deal with my own humanity and shift my own attitude, emotion, action to produce a different kind of result. A few years ago, my mediation team was called in the middle of the night. We were flown into a conflict zone. I could not tell my wife because it was in the middle of nowhere. It was a secret mission. It was a backdoor negotiation session. I could never forget when I walked into the room, I saw the military leader. Just as I was walking, he was banging on the table and shouting at some of the other people. His eyes were red and penetrating, and there was so much hatred coming out of his eyes. I backed up 2 steps as I walked in, and he said, "I'm going to kill all those rebels out there." My team sat down with him. We had a long negotiation session all night long. We offered the traditional carrots and sticks in terms of political and economic dealing with him. And yet we failed. The consequence of our failure was horrific. The very next morning, about 7:40 a.m., we didn't sleep. 7:40 a.m., we finished, went back to the room. I heard he started a massacre. He launched an assault on an innocent village. About 400 women and children died that day. Mostly women by gang rape, and children with machete chopping of their limbs as punishment for their disobedience. The worst part was when all this killing was happening, he ordered the soldiers to put the children in a row to watch their own mothers being killed. Just imagine the impact on the generations of the tribal relationship. My team was scared. I was scared. They said, "Howard, this guy is crazy. We cannot reason with him. He's ruthless, he's mad, and he's angry, and he does not listen. There's no way we can penetrate into his mind." He said, "We're going to pack up and go." I said, "No." They said, "Why?" I said, "No, I am unwilling. I am unwilling to see more innocent people die. And the threat, the prejudice, and the defense and the attack mechanism that's going on, this has been going on for too long. We have to discover, we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. We have to discover what's really underneath that human being's mind, his heart." They said, no, he's too thick, he's too old, he's too stubborn. He would never listen. You cannot penetrate. I said, give me one more chance. Give me one shot. I believe he is just another human being like you and me. I said, I believe underneath all that, he's probably just a little child having a temper tantrum. They said, okay, fine. We won't go. We'll wait. I said, that's fine. Let me give it one more shot. I said, if we want to dismantle this bomb, we have to go back to the root cause of this situation. And I said, I have to start with myself. I have to deal with my own interpretation of this man, my own prejudice against him, my own fear about him and his people and the situation. So that night, I asked him a very unreasonable thing. I said, I want to have a one-on-one fireside chat with you. So we did have that session. We sat down. I opened myself up first. I gave up all these things. I said, we are equals tonight. I'm opening myself up to you. I'm just curious to know, are you happy about what happened this morning? He said, Howard, why are you asking me this? I said, no, as a man to a man, as a human being to another human, I really want to know. You did all that. Great. But how do you feel? He said, Howard, I'm not happy. I'm really not happy at all. He said, I used to think when I become the leader, when I have all the power, money, women, admiration, respect, I will be happy. But now I realize I've lost it all. I'm powerless, I'm unloved, and people are rising up against me. So I asked him 3 soul-searching questions. Very simple, and I invite you to ask yourself too, whenever you get angry. I said, why are you doing all this, really? What are you really afraid of when you're doing all these? How and when did you become this way? And he thought for a moment. He said, oh yeah, I was not always this hungry for power, for all these things, power and fame and fortune. And he started asking me, so what do you want? What do you want from me? This is already the way it is. I said, I just want to have a chance to have conversation with you for about a week. So we did. We had 1 week long coaching sessions, one-on-one sessions over that week. And he started opening up. On the last day, on my scheduled departure day, I wanted to try something bold and courageous. I walked in. I said, look, here's my idea for today. I think what you really need is a hug. He said, what? I said, a hug. How long have you not had a hug? He says, I cannot remember. I said, look, here I am. Try me. And then I walked 2 steps forward, and then he backed off 2 steps. I said, no, I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to give you a hug. He said, what do you want? He said, no, just try it. So like a little kid learning to walk, he wobbled over. And he said, he gave me a little pat on the back. I said, come on. So I hugged him tighter. He gave me a tighter embrace. But he was still very stiff. And then I gave him a bear hug. I just pulled him in like this. And then he froze, and then he relaxed. And then he started laughing, and I started laughing. And then he started crying, and I started crying. I didn't know why I was crying, but I just saw him crying. Here he was. He was like my own grandpa, my own old man, fragile, full of hopes and dreams, a lot of hardship, just like a normal grandpa. So, long story short, after that day, we began a political reconciliation process where he actually pulled the troops and started sharing political power, sharing economic resources, and sharing even part of the territory for a more sustainable path of development, not only for the country, but for the region and neighboring countries. You see, peace is not easy, and peace is not free, but peace is possible. I believe anything can be accomplished through human heart-to-heart communication. Take a look at this little card. That's us in the world. We are all in this together. The world has limited resources, yes, and we can still get along. However, if somebody in that car has big ego, has a lot of greed, wants to take more from others, that's when the friction happens. So what's possible is for you and me to start practicing peace within first. And that's how we can contribute to the peace without. So let's do a little practice. Listening to me is one thing, but I want you to experience it. How about turning to your person next to you? Okay, look at the person next to you, smile, and shake their hands. Yes. And open your arms. And give them a little hug. Or a big hug. Yes. Yes, it's contagious. It's contagious. Let's be the change you want to see in the world. It's a small gesture, but that's the first step for us to break through the wall, to build that bridge. I know it's simple, but that's what's possible. We're all one. We're one people on this one planet, one Mother Earth. Let me leave you with my favorite quote. I am one. I'm only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And I will not let what I cannot do interfere with what I can do. And what we can do, what you can do, and what I can do is to practice having peace within. So we can have peace in our family, in our community, in our society, in our country, in the world. Peace starts with us. And that's the power you and I have. Thank you.